Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Amy and I am here with episode 10 in our midlife crisis series. I went out and spent $10,000 to bootstrap my floundering Etsy shop, and this is the result. So if that sounds interesting, stay tuned. Welcome back. If you have been around for a while, thank you for returning. If you have just found me either because of a crazy thumbnail or because you like vintage and antique ephemera hauls, I'm glad you're here. So today we've got a bunch more stuff that I found at antique stores, thrift stores, flea markets, and some exciting things. I think I've got one thing in here that I kind of alluded to several episodes ago. Stop eating the elastic. Put that over here. I've got my trusty friend Peanut down here, and she thinks plastic is food. Everything is food but food. But anyway, let's get started. All right, my first bag, as you can see, came from the Salvation Army, and I think everything legitimately, oh no, there's some stuff in here from an antique mall. But anyway, this first item was from the Salvation Army, and it's just a bunch of cute number and I think maybe addition and subtraction flashcards, maybe, or maybe they're just numbers and letters, but they are Muppet themed cards. And so these are the number ones. Some of them are in pretty crafty condition, as we like to say, or we could say pretty junky condition. But when you're doing junk journaling, that doesn't really bother you if you're into vintage. Now, obviously, some people create gorgeous junk journals out of printables and brand new products, and so this probably wouldn't appeal to them. But yeah, and then there are some letter ones, but this one's been gnawed on. So, but yeah, just cute, cute cards. I try to pick up cards like this when I see them, just for variety. I'm really trying to create almost a warehouse of products that can be used in new and exciting ways, maybe kind of rescuing things from the trash heaps. And then I found some dinosaur puzzle cards, and okay, well, these were a little bit interesting. So I would probably, if I were going to put these in journals, I would find the other half of this card so that they would stay together. But they've got information about the dinosaur on the back. But as you can see, they are puzzle pieces too. So yeah, I would try to keep each dinosaur together. So that'll be a fun little project of going through trying to match those up. And that was $1.99. And Salvation Army, like Goodwill, has certain colors on sale at certain times, but I never remember by the time I'm hauling this what color was on sale and if I got any of these. So I just tell you what the regular price was, if I know it. And then I found, you guys, another Funny Bones. I have 3 of these now, and this was $1.99, by far the cheapest one out of my set. But if you've never seen these are from 1968. And it's like the song, the funny bones connected to the head bones connected to the neck bone kind of thing. And I guess the game was that you would try to connect the bones in the right order and you'd get certain points. But these are a great size. You could even make junk journal covers out of these, which I will be doing with some of these, and because they're a thick cardstock, and so I could take, and make a front and a back cover and fill it up with all kinds of good stuff. So they're great for that, but they're also great to just have as a page. You could, you know, whichever side you liked better, you could cover up the other side with paper that people could write on, or you could, you know, poke a hole in it and make a tag, bookmark, you know, any of those kind of things. So we try on this channel to be a little bit educational with the limited knowledge that I have and the limited creativity that I have, but I share it all the same, not none the same. That makes no sense. All right, and then I found one of these old vintagey kind of plastic containers that I can use to, I figure I'm probably gonna put like my bulb pins in here, or safety pins, that kind of thing. Whatever I might use to connect a dangle to a journal, or, you know, that kind of stuff, or paper clips. Can go in here. Seed beads would be, this would be good for seed beads too, probably. So I don't know what it is, but I just really, they don't make things quite, well, they do, but they're just expensive. I mean, when you get stuff at the Dollar Tree, it's not going to be this hard plastic. I don't know. I just love it. All right, now these next things came from an antique store. This lady had 75% off of everything in her booth because she was wanting to do a restock. So she had a notebook that you could buy pages out of, and I think most of these pages ended up being, okay, well, this one was $4, so that brought it down to $1. So some of them, I guess, don't still have the prices on them, but this one came with a produce, a seed book for corn, but it's really a memo pad or a crop drying record, you know, so that's great for pages in journals. And who doesn't want information on the best and fastest adding machine out there? So some of those things, you just put the whole thing in a journal, right? Oh, I loved this one. This was a card. Going places, always carry the First National Bank of Chicago traveler check. So it's like a playing card, except it's an advertising card, and then it's got a 1960 calendar on the back. So that's a great little piece of ephemera. And then, so this one, I wasn't really sure what this would be, but it, you know, was only $1. So it's really just like a souvenir kind of thing. Now you could cut this in half, laminate it, and make a journal cover with some kind of cool advertising in it. Or you could leave it like this and just punch it, or, you know, add it to a signature. So just a lot of things. But this would have been like a motel, right? So, and the difference between motels and hotels are typically motels. You enter the room from the outside, as I understand it. Then we got this. It was originally $3, so less than $1 after the 75% off. And it is choral classics for ensemble band and orchestra. And so it's just sheet music in a cool size paper. So that will be fun. This actually would make great folded pockets. What do we call those? I did one of them on this channel where you take a single page and you fold it in a way to give you multiple spaces. And I've been doing that with music page, and I actually need to make some more, but I think this is too cool for me to use that way. But yeah, I've been sending, when people have been ordering from my shop, I have been giving everybody some freebies in one of those folded music pages. And so I've been putting several things in. You know, depending on the amount of the order, kind of determines if I put more stuff or not, or if I really load it. But I've gotten one positive feedback for, you know, those freebies. So hopefully people enjoy that. Here we've got Cake Secrets, originally $5. And let's hope there's some cool pictures in here. Are there any cool pictures in here? Okay, well, the first page. So this was a specific company, this company that was advertising, but it was, their stuff is using swan flower. I thought there were pictures. Okay, yeah, there's a picture. Now this one would make a good, well, okay. So some people like putting recipes in their books that people can actually make, but you could also, because the picture's at the top, make one of those folded pockets, double pockets. But are there any? I'm pretty sure when you have a cake cookbook, you really need to have pictures. So if you're in the mood to make your own cookbook to sell, make sure it's got pictures, because this one has very few pictures. And in my opinion, it should have a picture on every page. But when is this from? Is there a date? 1921. Okay, we can't get too judgy on it. From Evansville, Indiana. And it does have, you know, the swan flower down here. I mean, those are great. The pictures in recipe books from this era are so great. Way better than the weird pictures you see in the 50s and 60s cookbooks. Those just look weird. Like, why would anybody want to eat that? Well, the dessert ones probably look just fine. It's all the weird ass pick, you know, let's have meat and jello and veggies put together. That's kind of weird. All right, this one, I may have overpaid for this, but it was originally $5. She's got a couple of old advertisements. I have a ton of these now that I've been getting, the old magazines, although this one looks like it was probably turn of the century, just based on the paper it is. But she glued it to a piece of cardstock, and then she put like a tape around it to tape it to it. So that is kind of interesting. I'm not sure I would have done that, but it kind of makes it like a framed picture. So there were a couple of those, but I mean, this one's a cute one, I will grant you, but this other one, I don't know what the point of that one was. That one doesn't appeal to me too much. But guys, it's another one of these little books, and I love these little books. Now this one, a lot of these always end up water damaged. So maybe they were in somebody's pocket and they got rained on, or obviously it gets sat on, and so it you know, gets pretty beat up. But like I said before, they usually have graph paper in them, and luckily in the junk journal world, in the vintage arena, people don't care if the graph paper is written on, but there are some pages in here that are blank. And this one doesn't have a calendar, but it's still cool. And you could obviously take this front cover and the back cover, cut them up and make tags and stuff out of that. And of course, how to read your electric meter. All right, so I love the collector's books, the collector's price guides. I've talked about that. I showed you my Raggedy Ann one. I found this one for Anheuser-Busch, which here in St. Louis, you know, Anheuser-Busch is king, and has sold out now to what, InBev out of Belgium or something. But it's a long, it's a very still, this is still our jam here. Now, I'm not a beer drinker. I'm not an alcohol drinker, but I love the stuff in this book. So it has got tons of the old advertisements. Let me just, this one will be harder to hold up because it's kind of heavy. It's got, I mean, it's just the history too of the brand. And all of these things that it's a little, these books are always a little too glossy for my liking, but you can tone that down a little bit. But just great things to cut out. Comes with a little card. So pictures of metal signs, but yeah, that would be great to cut out and make a tag or a journaling card out of. Could fussy cut some of these to create some interest. Obviously we love our Clydesdales here, so you got some great pictures of that. And some of these pictures are in here more than once because they've got like the original and then a reproductions. You know, our little plastic plate kind of things. All your different bottles, those would be great to cut out. And if you backed them onto cardstock, people could write on the back of them. And so I was reading because I couldn't figure out why, if this company was owned by Bush, where did the Anheuser come from? Well, it turns out that Bush married into the Anheuser family, and Anheuser is the one who had bought the original brewery from a Belgium company. I think it was originally like Belgium Brewing. Let me see. We have to have our little history lesson. Of course, where did oh, it was on this page, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so Augustus Bush is the first Bush that came over, emigrated over, and emigrated all the way to St. Louis, which was, you know, interesting, right? Instead of just stopping over there in the east. But this would have been in the 1850s, and he became a brewery supplier, but then he fell in love and married Lily Anheuser, and her father owned this fledgling brewery and wanted the son-in-law to come and work for him, which he did. And it was it was originally the Bavarian brewery, so German Bavarian brewery. And well, wait, Bavarian, I'm assuming German. I'm pretty sure they say German in here, but Bavarian, does that always mean German? Or could it also mean Swiss? Like, I don't know. Obviously, people outside of America learn way more about world things. Those of us in America, we're really apparently very full of ourselves, and we don't learn as much about other countries as they learn about us. So I feel bad that I'm pretty stunted there. But eventually, he became a partner, and then like a year before Mr. Anheuser died, they renamed the company Anheuser-Busch, and Bush became the president. But yeah, it's just full of so I've got some playing cards, or maybe I don't. Maybe that was Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola would be another good one to have one of these books for. But for those of us here, Bevo Mill, those of us that are familiar with St. Louis, I don't know if I still have any viewers from this area of the world. But yeah, just lots of great, like this could be cut out and laminated to be a cover of a book, of a journal. There's just so many, and then you could, you know, fussy cut. So yeah, I love it. Oh, or maybe you want to have a, like a wide flip up kind of journal. You could use these two as the front and back for that. So yeah, I'm excited. Even though I'm really enjoying doing these hauls, and if I were smart, I would have pieced these together so that there were some hauls and then some crafting and then some hauls, you know. But unfortunately, due to the space constraints of my home, I got to do the hauls so I can get the stuff kind of boxed back up until I can then go through one box at a time kind of thing. So my apologies, but I personally love watching antique and vintage ephemera hauls. Like, I like watching craft hauls too, but I prefer purchasing, so I prefer watching the hauls. So hopefully some of you feel that way too. All right, these were 12 notes and envelopes for informal correspondence with 6 different views of Williamsburg, Virginia. So Williamsburg, Virginia obviously has a ton of historic memorabilia. So this, I'm always looking for stationery sets. So this was a really nice, well, those are the same image. A really nice, I love these pencil drawn kind of, and it came with envelopes. So these will be fun to, oh, and this one opens from the side. But these are great. You could put them, you could actually bind them into your signature or whatever, or you can leave them loose, or maybe you bind this into your signature and then you still can have the card in there. But then, you know, people could either use it as a card because it's never been used, or there's all this writing space for people to put down their, like, their diary. Because it's interesting to me, and I don't know why it's interesting, but it's interesting to me that a lot of people at the checkout for antique stores still don't know what junk journaling is. And they're like, what are you going to use all this stuff for? And so I'll tell them, and you could like tell they don't really know what I'm talking about. And it's just interesting to me. So then I'm like trying to say, well, you know, sometimes people will take all these disparate papers and put them together into a new book. And they're like, well, what would you use the book for? And I'm like, well, some people use them as craft supplies, like as just a conglomeration of craft supplies to use in other craft projects. Here's Peanut. But some people use them as diaries, and so they'll find little places in the book that they can write notes in kind of hidden places. And some people use them as planners and all kinds of stuff. And I always get this like look like are you making this up? Is that really a thing? And I'm like, it's all over YouTube and Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. So yes, it is a thing. All right, I got a card lot for $5 from a flea market. Oh, it's never been opened and it's taped closed. This one, they had multiple ones that I left some, but this one sort of says Valentine, handwritten Valentines up here. So it seemed like it might have interesting subject matter to me. And I saw some of the old kind of Kim Anderson style prints in here. And I always loved Kim Anderson. Now, are these Kim Anderson? These are Candid Camera. Oh, because the kid is taking a picture. But they don't say anything about Kim Anderson. Okay, so they are Valentine cards, but I just like this picture. So that was what sold me on this bag, and it appears, aw. So I don't know if these are all just Valentine cards or not. Kind of looks like it. And then let's see what else we found in here. Okay, those are all more of the same. Now some of these, you guys know I've been buying like the old cards. These are not that. Love poem. I was trying to see if these were, you know, like Freebie from, is that Rudolph Valentino, who we saw the paper doll book? Kind of looks like his era at least. Oh boy. So there's a lot of those black and white cards. What else is in here? Like, how does that happen? Somebody buys a bunch of these cards and then doesn't want them anymore? But these would also make, oh, maybe not these, but these, did I say this already? This would make a great journal cover. Okay, so yeah, you seem to be bothered. Peanut, please don't scratch me. Ugh. Nope, okay, nope, you're digging. Ow. Nope. Yeah, sit down there. Oh. Sit down there on the Anheuser-Busch book. All right, okay, those were all black and whites. I'm just trying to see, there's tons of them in here. You guys, this seems like this would have been expensive unless they were, yeah, there's so many of them. This is a different one. It's graphiquedefrance.com. So I don't know, somebody bought a set of them. It's almost like, well, I don't know if you would have bought them as, I doubt you would have bought them individually. They're not really priced individually. And then, aw, that's cute. See, that would make a cute cover too. More of the bicycles. Oh, that's cute. So yeah, so these, they're very hardy, no pun intended, cards, very sturdy cards that could be used for lots of different things. But I especially, it's like buying a bunch of pictures because of the black and white aspect of it. All right, then we got Scientist card game. This is, maybe I showed this one already. I think all the stuff in this box is new, or maybe I got a second one of these, but this is like authors. Yeah, I think I did show this already, where you have to collect all 4 Aristotles. So it's just like authors because it shows the other. So I think I did show this one before. I don't think I've gotten 2 of these. So these are fun cards to find. Kind of a new version of an old concept. And I think, so I'm always looking for quartet games because I know quartet games are popular across the pond. I've only ever found one. And they're kind of like authors too. But I don't know what, like I always just call it authors because authors was my first experience with that type of game. And I just don't know what it's really called. Okay, next I found a book, The Little Big Book of America. Oh, please don't scratch me. And it's a great size. And it's, let's see if I can hold this in a way that I can kind of flip. So, nope, not gonna eat the ribbon. So I don't know, I figured these would be easy to just use as is. The artwork. Sorry, I'm trying to still see what I'm showing. It's a little awkward. So, just a cute little book. And then this I found in the flea market we go to now has a dollar room. And I found this in there. I have found these before and have passed them up because I'm like, I don't want to use that. But it's got 4 panels. I can cut these into 4 panels, and they're already laminated, so I can make a journal cover out of these for the tall, skinny ones. So we've got Chicago here. And this is what the back looks like. So yeah, that's what I got. I was like $1. Yes, 2 journal covers, check. And then this I thought was an interesting, you know, it's like almost like a church cookbook, but this is by Ruth Lynch, author of Hair Say, to the Sheer Gourmet, I guess because she cuts hair. And here she is on the back. I don't know, is this someone well known that I should know? She had a salon in Vermont and the other in Florida. But she was only a hairdresser for 16 years. So I don't know, but this is her recipes. But I thought these were fun because they all had pictures on each page, like illustrations. So I thought that was fun, and that's why I picked this up. I'll take it off of its binding, and now ideally my cinch binder would be at the same, the holes would be in the same place, but I can't guarantee that that's true. So that would determine whether you get the binding side on the outside or the inside. Because if it doesn't match up, I'd probably put it on the outside and then run some ribbon through it. All right, then there was, in this flea market, there was a bookshelf full of books, and everything on it was $1. So I have mentioned before that I want to collect these Rand McNally books. They're probably my favorite of there's the Telltales and Golden books. So the Rand McNally ones are probably my favorite. So there were several of them on that shelf, so I picked them all up. Then there was parts of books. So I paid $1 for this too, but it's, you know, cute little images. And Hickory Dickory Dock, this one's in really horrible shape. Road Builders. The ABC, The Tale of a Sale. I thought this one was interesting. It probably had a cover, but you know what? I didn't look to see if the cover was there. But this is a Whitman book from 72. But I just liked the letter pages. So that's why I brought this part home. And then we've got Jack and the Beanstalk. And these Rand McNally ones, I love the artwork on them. Old King Cole. And they're in really not very good shape, which is why I'm sure why they were $1. So I wouldn't feel at all bad about tearing these up. But then I found another copy of one of my favorite books. I've shown you guys this book before. I found it for 25 cents at a different one. And I love this book. So anytime I see this book, I'm picking it up. I don't care how many copies I get of this. This will be a great book for grandkids because it's all about these 2 sisters that have to share a room and they have to get along. And, you know, they put tape down the floor, and one of them you can't cross the tape, and or maybe it was just a jump rope or something. And so one of them gets to leave the room because the door is kind of on their side, and the other one gets the closet, you know, that kind of thing. And of course, eventually they get sad, you know, realizing what they're missing out. And so I had that book when I was growing up, but there was a flood. My parents had a flood and the book was lost to the flood, and so I was sad. All right, then I got, at one antique store, I sell pages from grocery stamp books on in my shop, and I'm working on some new listings that'll have more variety for those. But the ones that I've been selling, I got from this particular antique store that I got these from. So I just got the rest of the ones they had. So I feel like grocery stamps were just before my time. Like, I do not remember my mom doing this. So she probably did, and I was just too young. Like, I was born in 75, so I don't know when, I just don't know when that stopped. But I'm trying to get a variety of different brands. So we've got the Eagle stamp here, and I'm not as much of a fan of the ones that just have the 10s or the 50s, because I want these pages. So my listings will probably be more of these pages. But here we've got some blue stamps. This was Quality Stamps. And S&H green. These are probably the most popular in where I'm at. Like, I've got bunches of these. And more Eagle. But yeah, now I've seen some Etsy sellers make a choice where you can buy the 10s or the 50s or the 1s, and you can soak these off of these pages and reuse the stamps, or you can leave them as is. But this particular little pack had a good variety of colors. So I bought 4 or 5 of these packs, I think. So I need to leave these out because I can get these ready for listing pretty quickly. And I need to have some things. I don't know what day this is that this is airing, but next weekend, I think the 1st of August is next weekend, and I'm hoping to drop some stuff. I'm hoping to drop stuff weekly, but I gotta have the time to process, and I have a full-time job. So, but yeah, so I bought a few other packs of those, and some of them were kind of disappointing. I looked at all of them. Some of them were kind of disappointing and had a lot of blank pages, but even those pages you can use in journals. Gives people more space to write on. So it looks like I got six of those packs. So I'm just hoping to have a good variety of colors and denominations in those. Oh, 7. I know, no restraint. All right, then you guys know our nostalgic TV trivia that we play at the end, from 1984, according to Professor Hoyle. Well, I found this one, which maybe we'll do this one next. You guys, I don't know which one to do next when we run out of that one, because I don't know a whole lot. You can see I don't know a whole lot about TV, but I think I don't know even, I've got a movie one, I've got a sports one, and I really don't know about those. So I don't know how interesting that would be if I don't ever know any of the answers. But this one I thought maybe, but this one is 50s and 60s. And this is series 9. So I don't know, like this one is series 2, but so I don't know if there were several in series 2 or if just each different one was a different series. Like, I don't know how that worked. So I found that, but then I also found Chex Pocket Trivia TV. But you guys, back here it says according to Professor Hoyle, so it may be the exact same cards. And so maybe, because I found a whole set of these. Oh, this one's never been opened. But I found a whole set. Yeah, see this? This looks exactly, these cards look exactly like the cards that let me pull the one, not the one we need today, but look exactly the same. So maybe this pack is going to be exactly the same. Well, that would be disappointing. No, let's not put that there because we already did that one. So I don't know. I may have just bought that thinking it would be a replacement for this, and it's going to turn out to be, oh, see, it says series 2. So what the heck? Why is one of them checks and one of them not? I don't understand. So yeah, so this, although in all fairness, once I run out of cards, I could go through them again and they will seem like brand new. Because let's face it, who could memorize all the answers going through them the way I go through them? I don't know. So anyway, I got those. And then I bought this cloth recipe book, which, since I don't do sewn signatures, I'm not sure how I will reuse this cover. I could cut it, but then I would have to tape it, or I would have to do something so it wouldn't unravel. And that would be kind of sad, although this was made in Hong Kong. But it's nice and bright, vibrant, and recipes. So it has these cool tabs, but there's no recipes because it's a create your own. And so then it's just got colored paper. So yeah. Does it have a year on it? It's got glossary terms, a brief guide to wine. But I thought the tabs would be fun. But is that really a good enough reason to buy the, I mean, it's got colored paper. So it's all usable, right? That's the important part. It's all usable. But I don't know, maybe this would work better as an altered journal where you just add your own ephemera to this. But it looks like it would slide out and then you could still have the journal cover. And well, I guess then I could just sell the cover as a cover that somebody who sews might actually enjoy. And maybe might have some gold pens that they could kind of fix that back up. This was $5 though. So I don't know. I don't know if that was worth it. And then I found this for $3. Lately I've been really enjoying finding these letter ones because of all the, like this one would be a great one to fold in half and have as a center of a signature, or because they've of course made it so you'd be cutting the letter if you cut it. So I would probably fold it, even if I do it in one of my Reader's Digest style. I think this would fit, and then it would just be like a flip out or a fold out. So I got that. I don't know why I say so I got that. Obviously I got that. Then I found another old Rook game. This one I think is a little bit, I have one from like the 70s and then I have one from like the 20s. So I think this is maybe in between. Let's see if we can see a year on the little booklet. Oh, well, this one says, well, copyright 36. But is that when it was actually, oh, this says 36 also. Okay, so maybe this is, well, shoot. Now I don't know if, I need to find somebody online that has all of the different variations of Rook that show their ages, but I didn't have any that look like this. And the Rook is a bird, kind of related to the crow family, so that's partly why I like these. But these cards, if you've never played Rook before, like I never learned how to play Rook, but it's 4 different colors and it's numbered like 1 through 15 or 1 through 14. And so people like them for the number side, but they would also like them for the bird side. And these seem to be in actually really good condition. One of the sets that, like the old set I've got is pretty rough. It was played with a lot. And, you know, when I'm done with the cards, I can turn this into a, you know, remove the sides and turn this into a journaling card or a bookmark or something. All right, well then I found a single deck of cards. Looks like this. It sounds like my family may be home. So this will be the last video I film. And then we've got the Hamel State Bank, Hamel, Illinois. I have some other bank cards, so I thought this would go, or maybe just one other bank card. So I thought this would be a good match for it to sell as a set. And then we found an old snap card game. And these are great little cards, although I don't know how old this one, 1984. So on the newer side, which you can tell by the cartoonishness of it. So those are cute. Definitely in crafting kind of condition, very, very well loved by some child at some point in time. Oh, geez. Okay, 8. Oh, you guys, this particular antique store. Okay, I need to remember. I need to make myself a note. Where's my little note card that I am going to put as a comment on this video? Where's my pencil? The company that makes the old scratch and sniff stickers that we loved in the 80s is going out of business, or is gonna stop producing those or whatever. And so, but they're still selling them right now. So I don't know, maybe it was not clickbait, but maybe it's not necessarily true. But they've lately, the last few years, have been remaking these scratch and sniff stickers from that we were all fans of in the 80s. And so they have on their website a free download, which is a picture with all of the different scratch and sniff stickers on it. So I downloaded that, and I figure for my own use, I can use it for my own ephemera needs. And so, hang on just a second. Hi, let me take a brief moment out of our video to let you know that today's video is sponsored by Junk for Goats. Junk for Goats is my business where I sell and resell vintage, antique, and some modern ephemera for all of your junk journaling or crafting needs. I have shops on Etsy, Whatnot, and I list my digital items on my coffee shop. All of the links for those are below in the description, so please check that out. It's also important to note that 10% of all the proceeds from my sales are used to purchase goats from Compassion International. Those goats are provided to families across the world to help them meet their own families' needs in terms of their diet, but they can also take and sell the milk and the cheese that they produce from their goats to their friends and family nearby, helping to provide them with an income source that is valuable in the areas in which they live. So if you would like to craft with a difference, please check out the description below. And as always, thank you, and please enjoy the rest of the video. Thanks. All right, sorry about that. So they got home and they had brought dinner, so they thought I might want to stop recording and eat dinner while it was hot, which I did, yes. So I was talking before I left about the scratch and sniff stickers that we all loved in the 80s. So I'm gonna try to pin a comment below. But if you go to that website, Trend is the company that makes those stickers. But if you go to my pin, I will have a link to the website where you can get and download a free digital which has all of the scratch and sniff sticker pictures on it. Now, you can't, I'm sure, reuse it and sell it or whatever, but if you just want them for your own nostalgia and your own crafting internally or whatever, your own junk journal that you're filling out for yourself, you can print them out and cut them out and everything and kind of bring some of that back. Excuse me. So I will have that listed below, and you can still order off the website. And I think I've mentioned this before, but you can get like the full set for $400, which, well, even though I just spent $10,000, I would not spend $4,000 or $400 on stickers. But this antique store that we were at yesterday had a display of the stickers, or at least some of them. So I picked up 6. Now, I picked up the 6 that resonated with me the most based on the ones that I got from teachers, because it was really popular for teachers to put them on your papers and stuff back then. And they were so awesome. No, I got 2 of them that are exactly the same. Oh, what a waste. So they were $4 a piece. I got 2 of the exact same ones. Son of a gun. I don't know how I did that. I should have gotten a blueberry one instead. Oh my gosh, you guys. Well, now I'm kind of sad. I got 2 of the watermelon ones. If I was gonna get 2 of one, this is not the one I would have gotten 2 of. But anyway, here you go. There's, maybe I'll put some of these in journals or freebies. Oh man, I cannot believe I did that. Like the other ones I was getting, so it makes me wonder if I either picked off the wrong hook or if this one was on both sides, because there were 2 sides of it. But oh man, now I'm kind of sad. Well, I shouldn't be sad. I should still be happy that I got them. So there's 2 sheets in these. So you're getting what, 24 stickers. And so I got melon power. I got the popcorn. I got the pizza. I got the hot chocolate. And my favorite of all time was the happy birthday ones. So stink. So they had other ones, like I remember I could have gotten strawberry, and they had like this one, but I don't remember, like I remember getting this, but I don't remember it like a smell. Like this one, even though I haven't opened it, I remember what this smells like, because, you know, fond memories that have odor are easier to remember. So yeah, so this would have been a good thumbnail if I wasn't being silly and doing my repetitive thumbnail. But anyway, okay, well, I'm so disappointed that I didn't notice that. Oh well. Oh well, oh well, oh well. Okay, so I think we'll stop there with this video, and we'll do our trivia, and then I think I'll turn around and film one more video before they're wanting to watch Happy Gilmore 2, and I could really take or leave that. Adam Sandler is not really my cup of tea. I mean, he's okay, but the kids like it, and that's what matters, I guess. Darn it. I'm kind of sad now. I'm kind of sad now for them being $4, and the antique store charged $4, and they're $4 online. Well, $3.99. So they must, maybe they ordered I don't know, they had multiple, so I don't know, maybe they got a discount, bulk ordering or something. But Oh man, I am kind of bummed about that now. But anyway, maybe you guys will be the benefiters. Maybe you guys will benefit from that, because maybe I'll use one of those watermelon packs to put in freebies for orders. So, okay, well, it is what it is. Let's get on to our nostalgic TV trivia. All right, let's hope we get a good card. There's not very many of those, though. Name the announcer on You Bet Your Life. What daytime quiz show did Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy host in the 50s? Who was the host of Omnibus? Which husband-wife comedy team occasionally appeared on the Paul Lynde Show? Who was always chasing Dennis on Dennis the Menace? Who starred as Sam Jones on Mayberry RFD? Who composed the music for the series Sugar Time? On Magnum PI, what is Thomas Magnum's middle name? Oh man. Some of these I know, but I don't know what would be on the card. Like, I know who it is, but I can't remember their name or whatever. All right, name the announcer on You Bet Your Life. I have no idea. So Frank. What daytime quiz show did Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy host in the 50s? So two hosts? I don't know. I can't think of a show that would have had two hosts, unless they each hosted it at different times separately. So I'll say can't remember the name of the one that's like, what's behind that door? So I'm just going to say, What's My Line? It's probably not a quiz show, though. Maybe it's like Hollywood Squares. Would that have been around that early? Or Password, or The Pyramid? I don't know. Who was the host of Omnibus? I don't know. Frank. Which husband-wife comedy team occasionally appeared on the Paul Lynde Show? Well, Paul Lynde, I looked him up not that long ago to see whatever happened to him, and he died fairly, but he was like on like Bewitched, and that's some of the stuff I remember him from. So I didn't realize he had his own show. But the only husband-wife comedy team I can think of is George Burns and Gracie Allen. So that's going to be and my daughter's name, Gracie, she's not named after Gracie Allen, but because Gracie Allen was Gracie and not Grace, that's kind of why I picked Gracie. All right. Who was always chasing Dennis on Dennis the Menace? Well, wasn't it like the neighbor guy? But I don't know what his name was. It was probably Frank. Who starred as Sam Jones on Mayberry RFD? Well, that guy, I can't think of his name, but he was also in Mama's Family as Vincent. And was he in anything? I'm sure he was in other things, but I can't think of his name. But that's the guy. Who composed the music for the series Sugar Time? Mike Post. He did like A-Team and Hunter and stuff from the 80s. So this is, I don't know when Sugar Time was, but I can't think of any composers that would work for TV, you know? On Magnum PI, what is Thomas Magnum's middle name? Sullivan? Thomas Sullivan Magnum? Thomas S. Magnum? That's my guess. All right, name the announcer on You Bet Your Life. George Fenneman. What daytime quiz show did Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy host in the 50s? Do You Trust Your Wife? Who was the host of Omnibus? Alistair Cook. So Does that mean it wasn't a game show? Was it like a weekly mystery show kind of thing? Which husband and wife comedy team occasionally appeared on the Paul Lynde show? Ah, Stiller and Mira. Okay, well, had I been thinking, I could have at least come up with them. So Jerry Stiller and Anna Mira. She was on Rhoda, and maybe also Mary Tyler Moore, and of course Ben Stiller's parents. King of Queens, Jerry was on, and I think his wife guest starred on occasion. I wonder why, like, they could have made a part for her, like a recurring part for her, but maybe she didn't act anymore. I don't know. Who was always chasing Dennis on Dennis the Menace? That was Margaret. Okay, so I was wrong about that. Who starred as Sam Jones on Mayberry RFD? Ken Berry, yes. Okay, I'm taking that point because I at least knew who he was. Who composed the music for the series Sugar Time? Oh, Paul Williams. Wait, Paul Williams? That's not... Who's the one, like the famous composer? It's a Williams. It's not Paul, right? Now I gotta look it up. Composer Williams. I mean, what is it? What is that guy's first name? Oh, no, not in there. In Safari. Composer Williams. John Williams, yes. Okay, well, this was Paul. Related? I don't know. Does John Williams have a son, Paul? It says 3 children, including Joseph, so no Paul mentioned. And on Magnum PI, what is Thomas Magnum's middle name? It is Sullivan. Yay! Okay, so I'm taking Ken Berry, even though I didn't come up with his name, because at least I told you a different show he was in, so you could have looked that up to check me. And Sullivan, so still only 2 out of 8. That's not very good. All right, well, thank you so much for watching and spending time with me today on this haul. I do have plenty more hauls to do, which are my favorite. So I'm hauler time. And even though I've shifted what I'm hauling is still my favorite thing to do. So, and I got that device that I told you about that would make it easier for me to film my hands. And I think when my husband was reclaiming the living room for living room space, and we were boxing up not we, if it were we, I should have been, more proactive. But I think that device got boxed up with the things that I still need to haul and do stuff with. So it may be a while before I find that device. But anyway, I wanted to make sure to thank my members. So I want to thank Miss Mary, Julie, KT, Favorites with Laura, Miss Darlene, Hey Everybody, and Pam. Thank you so much for sponsoring this channel or being members of this channel and supporting me that way. Thank you to all the people that support this channel by watching and liking and commenting and subscribing. And thank you if there happens to be people that watch this channel and purchase from my stores. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all of the things. So I think that's it, you guys. And I'm going to be disappointed about this sticker thing for quite a while, but it is what it is. So anyway, wherever you are, whenever you are, I hope you're having a great day. And until we meet again, take care of yourself.